Something else that I saw you posted in our What's Working Now channel, Landon, was creepy works. Can you explain that and tell us how it works?
Yeah, absolutely. So, just to give everybody some context, we launched some new creative for one of our clients, and it was actually the wife of the CEO of the company sent a message to one of the marketing managers saying, "I can't believe we're running this ad." She's like, "It's creepy." But the most interesting part was the follow-up to that was how she outlined how she literally stopped scrolling in her feed and like read the entire ad to be able to see what was going on. And I think this is a sentiment to the importance of creative and creative testing and testing new ideas, testing things that are going to be completely different. And with this ad specifically was effectively like a split screen image. So one half had a slightly different design than the other half, but it was split down the middle of someone's face. And we used it as a way to articulate like a before and after in terms of this was in the space of people getting jobs. So it was like your income that you're currently getting now, the income that you could possibly be earning in the future with your employment. And with that being said, the design that ended up being the finalized product had slightly different facial expressions, so it really kind of stood out as odd at first glance in the feed. But if we're trying to think of the way that people use Facebook, it's interruption based marketing. People are on there for entertainment purposes. We're just trying to capture their attention, and the more that we're able to capture their attention can potentially be an advantage of just getting them to stop scrolling, actually pay attention to the ad. So that's kind of something that worked out really well for us. There are times where things like that may also garner a lot of engagement, where people might start commenting on the ad because they might think it's creepy. Now that could definitely go to the negative side as well. I completely acknowledge that it can backfire in some cases, but ways to stand out. This is also something I got off the call with 2 Facebook reps or Meta reps this week, where they were talking about creative differentiation and combating creative fatigue with not just maybe changing a headline on the specific image, but having vastly different creatives to stand out in the feed and attract different segments of your audience. So I think the moral of the story is just really being open to like creative exploration with what you're testing on the platform, and not being afraid to test something that may seem like a little bit of a wacky idea, something that in this case, like the CEO, the wife of the CEO was like, "What are we doing here?" And then it was like, the results speak from themselves. Like the results are doing really, really well for this ad. So it was a really kind of cool to kind of watch that journey of this ad getting approved, that the client themselves saying like, "This is pretty creepy, but we'll keep running it because it's working really well."
I love that.
Yeah, sometimes something really unusual could perform and you'd never expect it.
I got permission from a client years ago to run like basically it was like a funny dog video, but I skewed it into like an ad, and it was probably my favorite ad I've ever created. I was getting to make creative a little bit on my end at that time, and can't say the ad performed really well, but I think it was a good experience in just being able to test something completely different, and the client being cool with it.
And that's the key part, the clients being cool with it. I remember I was making ads for a company that was selling face masks, like really expensive face masks back in the day. And they had no photos, just plain face mask on white background. So I had this idea of taking all these old like classical paintings that had no copyright issues anymore because they're public domain, and just photoshopping the face mask on. And they were, huh?
Yeah, that's a cool idea.
It was so cool. It looked so good. Like, and then she came back and was not cool. She's like, "These are dangerous. They're going to hurt our brand." I'm like, first of all, you don't have a brand. You're selling face masks. But they look so good. I'm so proud of them, and sad they never saw the light of day. But you have to try this stuff. And it's really important, I think, as at least on the creative, especially on the creative side, to think of your ads as part of the Facebook feed. Anything that you would do for social to get high engaging social is what you should be doing in your ads. They are not separate. The algorithm doesn't really treat them separate, and maybe it optimizes for the action at the end, but really it wants to entertain people, keep people on platform, keep people watching and engaged and stuff. So that's really interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure if anybody follows the YouTuber Mr. Beast. So he's the most followed YouTuber on the planet. He's got over 100 million subscribers on YouTube. And there's a comment that he makes, and he always tells people to replace the word algorithm with like person. Like you're optimizing for people. So trying to replace the YouTube, or sorry, the Facebook algorithm with like you're trying to optimize this for people. And in some instances, something that looks very native, organic is going to perform better. But sometimes there's going to be where something that is just completely out of left field interrupts people, gets them to stop scrolling, where that's going to work as well. That's why like the first 3 seconds of your video ad is so important, because you're trying to retain their attention.
Yeah. Usually when we have a decrease in performance, I always recommend like all media buyers, let's start thinking out of the box. Like let's come up with some fresh ideas that are out of the box that we never tried before, because this could be the thing that will change everything and bring us our performance back. So yeah, it's that's real pleasure working with customers who approve like this attitude and they're comfortable with testing new things. And yeah, that's why this job is so exciting.
Definitely requires some trust between media buyer and client.
Yeah, definitely.